think it's about time for a new stand for my camera. I need to do a little bit of upgrading. So I've been having this camera stand for like, I don't know, since I started YouTube when I was doing like makeup things and stuff. Anyway, welcome to part 2 of Summerween. Not much has happened since I last talked to y'all. I'm still reading my paranormal male romance, which I'm really liking. I'm only 37% in because I haven't really had much reading time, and I fell asleep a couple times while trying to read like at night just because I was tired. But anyway, I did finish Horrid yesterday on Sunday. Yes. So I did finish it. I made a point to just go ahead and finish it because I was almost done anyway. It's probably gonna be like a 2.5 star, y'all. I don't want to say I didn't like it because it wasn't terrible, but I don't feel like it's a 3 star because even some of my 3 stars I do like. I did like this. See, I don't know what to give it. At some points, I just kind of let the audio play and I wasn't really paying attention. Like, my husband was talking to me and I didn't stop the audio and I just wasn't interested. I didn't really care about the characters. The only interesting part was when I realized something weird was going on with Jane's mother, which I had talked about in another footage, but that was really the only interesting part where I was like, ooh, I want to know like what's going on with her. Why is she being so sketchy about her past? What really happened? Why did she leave home and like never want to go back? I don't think even Jane really knew her grandmother that well. So we do get that part of this. We do get that part and we find out why, but it's just like, okay, cool. Whatevs. I don't know. I guess it just wasn't for me. And then I didn't like the ending. I really didn't like the ending. So yeah, I'm leaning more about like 2.5 stars. But I'm really enjoying P.S. I Spook You. So we're following, his name is Rain. Rainstorm is his real name. His parents are hippies. It's funny and creative and fun, and it's giving me Dorinda Jones vibes. Her, it's like one of my favorite romance paranormal books or series. The Charlie Davidson series by Dorinda Jones. The first book is called First Grave on the Right or something. That's like an all-time favorite paranormal romance. It is male-female romance, but Charlie is basically the Grim Reaper, and it is such a good time. She's a fun character. Just the writing is super fun and funny. There's just good humor in there, and it just flows well, and that's kind of what this book is reminding me of. So this is by S.E. Harmon. I haven't read anything else by S.E. Harmon except for the Blueprints 2-part series. It's the Blueprint, and then I forget what the second book is. I'll put it up here, but that's a really good one. That's a male romance as well. So I haven't read any other S.E. Harmon. So when I saw this and I saw that it had like paranormal aspects to it, I was like, oh, let me check this out. So if you're not like into the whole horror thing, but you want a book with some paranormal activity in it that's fun and funny, and I think you would have a good time, and you like male romances, this is the way to go. So like I said, his name is Rainstorm, and he can see dead people basically, and I think he's just starting, like he just started getting into his whole energy, and it explains in the beginning how he's a detective. No, he's an FBI agent, I'm pretty sure. And he kind of let it slip that he was talking to whoever, like, he was on a case and the ghost of whoever was missing was talking to him. So he had a message for like her parents, and you know, he just went with it and everybody thought he was crazy. So he's kind of just coming off of leave from that. And so he's trying not to let that side of him kind of open up, but it's like he can't help it. It's like this one ghost just keeps following him around, and all of a sudden he's like opening up to all these ghosts, and he don't know how he did it. Anyway, it's fun. He's a funny character. His boss puts him on a case where he has to go back to his hometown, and it's a cold case. I think that's what like he specializes in, cold cases. But he has to go back to his hometown where he broke up with his boyfriend, and his boyfriend's a detective, and they end up like working on the case. And so that's kind of where like the sexual tension is coming from. So that's really fun. And Rain is just a funny guy. He's funny and carefree, and like his parents are hippies, but he's trying to be more of like that, like just kind of a straightforward guy. I mean, pun not intended, but you know, he's trying not to flow into that hippiness, because I believe his sister is kind of going into that as well. His sister is a twin. I'm rambling. I'm rambling because I really like it, and I highly recommend it if you're into that. So yeah, he's a funny guy who sees dead people, and he's an FBI agent, and he's on a cold case with his ex-boyfriend. There it is, summed up right there. That's all I should have said, and so I was rambling on about it. I have not jumped into Horror Story yet. I'm sure I'll probably start that tomorrow when I start my day. I think I'm gonna go ahead and jump back into P.S. I Spook You, and I still would like to hit up my Walking Dead graphic novels. So, you know, I might be doing that either today or sometime during the week. We are gonna be frying fish and such later at my brother's house, but until then I think I'm gonna hunker down. I might fix me another vodka tonic because I enjoyed it so much the other day, and continue reading. And I'll just continue to keep y'all posted during the week. Hey y'all, it is Wednesday. I didn't really vlog much yesterday. Nothing, you didn't miss anything, I promise. It was just a day of work, and I listened to Horror Store and read along with it as I went about my day. So I did finish Horror Store yesterday. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. And then this morning on my walk, sorry I'm breathing hard, I just finished my workout for the day. I started Mallory on my walk this morning. So far it's okay. Like I'm still only on chapter 1. Like there's a beginning part. And my glasses are glaring. And then you go into chapter 1, which is like 10 years later. There's a little bit of chaos in the beginning. I was a little confused. I was trying to follow along best I could. I guess maybe we'll find out more about that later, I'm hoping. It just seemed like the camp that Mallory went to in Bird Box, like when Bird Box ended, it looks like something happened at that camp. Maybe it was, you know, bombarded with the creatures or whatever, and it was just kind of chaos as Mallory was trying to get out with her children. And now we're 10 years later and they're at like some sort of camp. But that's as far as I got. So I am preparing to make my fallish treat today. To have my bananas defrosting. I'm gonna make my gluten-free banana pumpkin muffins, and I think I'm gonna add maybe some walnuts in there. I need to go to the store. I need to get myself together and go to the store because I do need a few things. But I discovered this recipe in my Acid Watcher cookbook. So it's gluten-free. It's really, really good. It's very, very simple. And I make it all year round, really. I haven't made them in a while, actually, but I used to have them all the time. They were like my sweet treats when I was in the process of healing my esophagus. When I first found out I had gastritis and esophagitis, I had to go through this phase of like really watching acidic foods that I ate until the medicine kicked in and did what it had to do. But so anyway, yeah, these were like my sweet treat because I couldn't really have sweets and chocolate and things like that. So I just kind of like haven't really made them in a while, but I really, really love them. So we're gonna make them later on today. Probably gonna make me a little smoothie in a little bit. I need to catch my breath, pull myself together. But yeah, you didn't miss anything yesterday. Probably won't have much again today, except we're gonna make some muffins later. So Horror Store was pretty good. If you follow me on Goodreads, you'll know that I gave it 3 stars. It's another one where I'm tempted to give it maybe just a half a star more. It's not quite a 4-star for me, but I enjoyed it. But I did get a little bored towards the end when things were kind of heightening up a bit. I got kind of bored with all the action. I was just like, okay, I get it, moving on. And then I wasn't really crazy about the way it ended, but you know, it was fun. It was Grady Hendrix. I enjoyed the writing. The audio was really fun as well. There's like little sound effects that go along with it. It's narrated by a woman, but the chapters are kind of narrated by a man. And the chapters begin with like an item from the Orsk store. So it's like a spin-off of IKEA. And where they have like these weird names for the furniture. And as the chapters go on, the furniture starts to get more like medieval-ish. It was fun. Like I said, it was Grady Hendrix. I love on the back cover, not on the back cover, but Grady Hendrix's picture in the back is like a picture of him like with an Orsk name tag. He is just so much fun. I really enjoy all his books, even though I haven't, you know, gave one a 5-star yet, but I really, really enjoy all of them. I think my favorite one so far is the Southern Vampire one. I can never quite remember the name of it, but it was really fun. Very grotesque. There are some grotesque things in there, but not as bad as say like the vampire one, as well as like the My Best Friend's Exorcism. That one was pretty gross at times. The vampire one was really gross. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. It's a long title. Anyway, I had fun with it. The store kind of basically turns on them, I guess, but there's a little bit of a history behind the store. And our main character is Amy. and we're just following her throughout the book. And then there's you know, a couple other characters that are there along with her as we make our way through the Orcs store and how things start to turn. Really fun. Like I said, I'm gonna get my day together here, put my contacts in, get myself together, get my day started, and I'll see y'all in a little bit. Time to make muffins. I went to the store, I got me some walnuts, so we're gonna do some baking real quick because I gotta get back to work. It ended up to be a pretty busy work day. It's currently like 3:20. I'm just kind of taking a little break so I can make these, and because I'm kind of hungry and I'm wanting a little snack, and this would be perfect. But I lied earlier. I thought I did get this recipe from the Asset Watcher cookbook, but I actually got it from this acid reflux diet book, Dr. Kaufman's acid reflux diet. I started off with this one, and then I ended up switching to the acid reflux diet because it was a lot more simpler and easier to follow. There's some good recipes in here too. I marked a bunch of them, and I have tried a good many of them over the years, but like their gluten-free morning oatmeal is really good. I still fix that for myself every now and then. And today we're gonna make the gluten-free pumpkin muffins. And these are made with quinoa flour. This is my preference of quinoa flour. I've tried a couple of them, but this is the best one. And quinoa flakes. Also tried a good bit of these. This is my favorite one. These are hard to find in my area, at least. So I order these from Amazon. Yeah, and then baking soda, baking powder, some cinnamon, some clove, and ginger all go into the mix. A little bit of salt and honey, and of course banana and egg. And pumpkin, of course. I gotta get the pumpkin out. I forgot about pumpkin. Pumpkin puree. I'll put the recipe down below if you're interested in making this version of banana pumpkin muffins. But first I usually mix the dry ingredients, then I'll do the liquid ingredients, and then I combine them all together and put them in the oven. So I'm gonna get started on that, and I'll check in a little bit. Okay, have all my dry ingredients ready to mix together. I got my eggs right there. I'm about to whisk up a little bit, then put in my pumpkin. This is the pumpkin puree that I like to use. And then my bananas right here. I'm gonna get rid of all that juice. The recipe requires 2 ripe bananas, but I always do 3 just because I love banana. And it adds to the sweetness of the muffin. Because the only real sweetener we're doing is the banana and honey, and this is the honey I'm gonna be using. So I like to do 3 bananas, but yeah, we're gonna get rid of all that juice. You gotta get those bananas kind of smashed. Can't see it, but you gotta just take a fork and just smash them. You won't have all that juice if you use just like regular good old ripened bananas still in like the casing, but I had frozen bananas. The bananas I currently have are not quite ripe enough to make banana type bread, so but these are gonna make the batter like nice and soft and moist. I know a lot of people don't like that word, but that just means goodness to me. Okay, here's what the batter looks like. I got my walnuts in there. So I'll let that kind of sit a little while and plump up, and I'm going to grease my muffin pan with some coconut oil. I have not put in the honey yet because I'm gonna show y'all a little trick that I learned over the years, and y'all might know this. So what I do is I scoop some out with the tablespoon that I'm gonna be using to put the honey in. And it kind of coats the tablespoon. So whatever's left on there, I take my paper towel, and I'm gonna use this paper towel to spread it around my pan. but I just take it and I make sure I get it all up in there, you know, in the little spoon, because once you put your honey in there, it's gonna slide right off. Like the honey is not gonna stick to the tablespoon. See if y'all can, let me try to zoom in on this. So it calls for 2 to 3. See how the honey is just like, I mean, of course it's gonna take its time, sweet little time, but it's not sticking to, I still got a little bit in there, but it's not all stuck. Oh, come on. See, it doesn't all stick up in there. So I'm gonna do like 2 more. Anyway, y'all might know that trick already, but I just learned that over the years. All right, there they are. They're gonna go in the oven at 400 degrees. The recipe calls for 25 minutes, but my oven cooks a little faster than that, so usually around 20 minutes mine are ready. So just depending on your oven, just watch them, but there they go. Now my house smells like fall. These look so good. I'm so excited. I was talking away, it wasn't even recording. Took a bite of my muffin and everything. I just gotta take another bite, that's all. It's really good. I really like it with the nuts too. Nice spicy taste to it. The taste of fall. Hey y'all. Sorry I have not vlogged today. It is Thursday, July 8th, last day of Summerween. It's been a busy day as far as work and just other things. But I just finished Mallory. Pull my bookmark out. Another like 3.5. I really wasn't feeling it most of the time. At the end of Bird Box, I don't want to spoil anything for you if you haven't read Bird Box. Bird Box is really, really good. I recommend Bird Box as well as the movie on Netflix. Really, really good. I enjoyed both of them. I know some people prefer one over the other, but I really enjoy both of them. As far as Mallory goes, if you want to... Bella's in her litter box. I apologize if you hear that. If you want to know what happens to Mallory, because Bird Box, it does kind of end with a finality, but I feel like this gave me closure a little bit, especially towards the end. I really, really did like how it ended and how the ending went about going. It was written really well. I was just, for maybe the first half of the book, just not really interested in what was happening. No, maybe more like the first part of the book. Once they got to a certain part, I don't want to spoil it for y'all, but it kind of started picking up for me, and I really wanted to know what was going to happen. And I really, really enjoyed getting the point of views from both of Mallory's children, Olympia and Tom. Tom is Mallory's like actually blood child, and Olympia was born from another woman from the first book. They went into labor like at the same time, and spoiler alert, that woman died, but Mallory raised her child as her own. So I really enjoyed getting their points of views. That was really interesting to not just be following Mallory throughout the story, because Mallory's I don't know how to describe Mallory, but she's like one-track mind kind of thing. I enjoyed how Tom was sort of a little rebellious at some points. He got on my nerves, but at other points I felt like it added to the story. And then I really liked Olympia because Olympia seemed to have a little bit better head on her shoulder, but yet still being a teen, she just wanted to experience the world differently from what Mallory was trying to train them to experience the world, being blind basically. But anyway, I really enjoyed the ending of it, so hence bumping it up a half a star. I don't think it's 4-star worthy for me, but yeah, I really did like the ending and the point of views from the children. So yeah, and then last night I finished P.S. I Spook You by S.E. Harmon. Really loved this. 5 stars all the way. It was a fun, spooky read. If you're not into like horror or you don't like scary things and you're into male romances, I highly recommend this one. I'm definitely going to continue with the series. There's 3 books in the series so far. I don't know if there's going to be any more, and it kind of fit into the category. It had black on the cover, and it was paranormal. We had some ghosts. So anyway, I have one more book to read before the night ends, and it's a short story. It's still so it's the one I'm going to read in the dark. It's called Hannah Beast, and it's by Jennifer McMahon. It's available on Kindle Unlimited, and you get the audio free along with the book. So I'll be listening and reading along in my bedroom in the dark a little later. So I'm gonna go take my bath and get myself set up for that, and I'll see y'all then. Okay, y'all, here I go. About to dive into Hannah Beast. This is by Jennifer McMahon. This is part of the Dark Corners little series from Amazon. It's like where a bunch of horror thriller authors write short stories. They're not connected that I know of. I don't think they are, but I read Sleep Tight Motel for Winterween, and so now I'm gonna read this one, and that one was really good too. So the audio is 1 hour and 23 minutes. It is currently just after 10 o'clock, 10:03 to be exact, so we'll see how this goes. Well, I didn't make it all the way through of the book. Even though it was only like 48 pages, 1 hour and 23 minutes, I fell asleep. It was boring. I didn't like it. It was basically about a bunch of bullying girls, some mean girls, bullying this other girl and doing a bad thing to her. That's basically what it was. I don't like bullying. Not say that that's the reason I didn't like this book. It's not, it's really not, but I wasn't impressed with it. It seemed like it was gonna be a really fun short story. The last one I read was really fun and really creepy. I highly recommend that one, Sleep Tight Motel by Lisa Unger. It's part of that little Dark Corner series for Amazon, but I just thought, you know, it sounded really good. It took place on Halloween night. We have a timeline. We're going back to 1986? 1982. So we're going back and forth between 82 and 2016. So we're following this girl, Amanda, and she's kind of, we're present day basically in 2016 with her, and she's having some guilt about what happened in 1982 with Hannah. So yeah, I don't want to say too much and give it away because it is a short story, but it's just basically about girls bullying a another girl that is sort of just, you know, she's not popular. She's not part of the popular crowd. She doesn't have a lot of money. She doesn't come from a lot of money. She just lives with her dad. She lost her mom, I believe, or her mom left them. I'm not sure. Her dad could be an alcoholic, I think. We don't get much of her background, just a little snippet, but she's just an unfortunate girl versus fortunate girls, and they're taking advantage of her, and I didn't like that, and I didn't like what they did to her, and I didn't like the outcome of it, and I didn't find it very spooky. Maybe I'm getting immune to all this spookiness. I don't know. That was just my opinion. I gave it a 1 star because I did finish it. Like, I finished it on my walk this morning. But yeah, wasn't impressed with it at all. So altogether, I feel like I had an okay Summerween. These are the 3 books that we got through: Horrid, Horror Store, and Mallory. I would say my favorite out of these 3 was probably Horror Store, because it was the most entertaining, even though it was still like a 3.5 star, and the ending was a little bit drawn out. It was a little much. I still had fun with it. My second favorite would be Mallory, even though part of the beginning it was pretty boring for me, and I just felt like it was the same thing. It was the same journey. We're running from these creatures, and she's dragging her children along. Although I did really like the point of views from Tom and I keep wanting to say Olivia, but it's not Olivia, it's Olympia. Olympia. I really did enjoy getting their point of views from everything instead of just Mallory herself. But in the end, I did like where the story led us, and I did like how things turned out. Although I wanted to know more about this creature. Why is it here? You know, kind of thing. But unfortunately, we don't get that. Horrid was pretty much a total disappointment for me. I gave it 2.5 stars just because I made it through. There was one particular part of the story that I was interested in, which is what the big secret with her mom was. But then it ended up to be just meh, you know, was like, okay, whatevs. And then of course Hannah Beast, no. The highlight of this Summerween was P.S. I Spook You by S.E. Harmon. I absolutely loved this. I adored it. I adored all the characters. I love Rain. I am definitely going to continue with this series. Like I said, maybe not this month. We'll see how the month goes, because there's a lot of like backlisted male romances on my Fire tablet that I want to get to this month. So maybe next month we'll hop back into the spooky PSI Spook You series. I don't know what the series is called. I'll have to look at it. I'll have it, of course, listed down below if you want to check it out for yourself. Male romance for the win. Really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the humor of it. You know, it wasn't necessarily spooky. There are ghosts there. It really reminded me of, and I say this a lot, or I mention this book a lot, or this series by Dorinda Jones, the Charlie Davidson series. Charlie Davidson is a detective where she can see and speak to the dead. But she is considered a Grim Reaper, so they can like pass through her, and she can see how they died as they are passing through her to cross over, basically. Like, she is the light. She is basically the light. It is a great series, hilarious, hot, very hot. It's a male-female romance, paranormal romance, I guess. Really good. Really, she's in love with the devil's son, so and she's the Grim Reaper. It's super entertaining, but this is kind of what it reminded me of, was the Charlie Davidson series, because Rain was he's an FBI agent. He's funny. He's just got a great sense of humor. I loved his ex-boyfriend. I loved the chemistry they had together. Yeah, I loved it all the way around. That was my favorite of the Summerween, and it wasn't even spooky. But we did make muffins. We read in the dark a little bit until I fell asleep. We even made snacks and drinks. So I had a good time. I hope y'all had a good time as well. Let me know in the comments what y'all made it through for Summerween. I may wanna check those books out if I haven't read them already. Thank y'all so much for following along with me. I hope y'all enjoyed the ride. Hope you're all doing well out there as well, staying safe. And I guess I will see y'all next time in a new video. Bye y'all. It's so hard to end these things.